Hello, beautiful souls. I am so excited to be here at the Voices of Gaia Summit. And this means so much to me because I totally love being with other women and sharing our divine messages. I believe this is how we will not only heal ourselves, but bring healing to the world. And so I just want to start off by just sharing a little bit about who I am and why I'm here. So my name is Radha Nelia, and I am the founder of Radha Publishing House. And we curate collaborative books that enliven the soul, activate the voice of the divine feminine, and so many other healing modalities, healers, and such. I'm just going to show you very quickly some of the books that we've done. And this is the very first book we did, which is called Awakening Starseeds, Shattering Illusions. This book all came from me living in Hollywood and being a producer, working in this industry. And my dream was always to share a story because I'm a believer in the power of our story and how it can help to elevate our lives. Unfortunately, there was a lot of darkness and nefariousness in Hollywood when I was there. I have met everybody, and that's not a brag at all because it doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, I decided to walk away from some very big, and I mean life-changing, epic Kim Kardashian opportunities because they didn't align with my soul. Okay. And for me, I'm a triple Pisces and I'm a manifester, and I cannot go against my soul because if I do, it's the ultimate betrayal. And so my dog agrees with me. She's feisty. Her name is Precious. Um, but I will tell you, I learned so much being in the industry. I used to do PR for films that were coming out. I used to do PR for celebrities, and that really helped me to understand like how powerful the voice is, especially when you curate it. But I'm also a sacred rebel. So I also I believe in truth, and I believe in sharing the truth at all costs, right? Um, I know it's very unpopular these days, but here we are. Um, the truth will set you free, even if it's painful. And even if we can't handle it, the truth is, there are many people that believe that you can't handle the truth. That's why you'll never know it unless you open your heart and your mind and start to investigate, be the investigator. And so here's the second one. It's called Awakening Starseeds, Stories Beyond the Stargate. And this one is really about, exploring our divine power, right? Because the media will tell you that you're nothing, that you're nobody, that your voice doesn't matter because you're just a peasant. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's the messaging of the media. And so why is it important that we sort of stop following that? It is because, no, we've been here for many, many, many years. We're ancients, right? And there are ancient encodings in our soul that are so important and so vital. Many of us, many of us remember being, living outside of this realm and coming down into this place and losing total our consciousness, right? Of what we had before, because that's sort of like the agreement. When you come to Earth, you lose your memories. And then many of us are awakening to our memories. And that is why it's the Starseed series is so important. After I left Hollywood and I left a huge, life-changing deal. Not just, uh, you know, crazy stuff, but there's no question about it. I made the right choice. I'm so happy because I know that the work that I do is from not just my heart, right? It's from my soul. And I put my heart and my soul into these books because they matter. I believe in them and I stand for them. So this is Awakening Starseeds 3, Dreaming into the Future. And oops, you can see the woman, she has a sunflower. I just thought that was so great. And you know what this book is all about, there's authors from all over the world. We have I really love shamans, and we have Tata Jose, who's a timekeeper, and we have Maya the shaman. I'm a big believer in supporting our elders because we live in a society that really discards elders, does not see them as valuable, does not understand that their life experience they can bring so much to the table. So I invite um, incredible elders into these books because I know their value. And I think, that's one thing that I always thought in Hollywood, like I wanted to bring forward the voices of the divine, and that was absolutely taboo. It was like fighting against a machine, right? So I realized that creating my publishing company, it's been a labor of love, but I am able to share things I truly believe in. Another thing I truly believe is energy healing. I have spent half of a lifetime not just indulging, but really studying energy healing, because it is soul medicine that is going to take us to the next level. It is the soul, the power of the soul. And this is the book. And this was our most popular book in the series, in all of our work that we've done so far, because so many people really want to heal. And they're realizing that so many of the methods that have been provided are not offering the solutions. I've realized that so many of the things that we come in with are soul issues. And sometimes even when we come in here, we are coming in saying, hey, I'm going to take on whole this whole thing of issues on this side, right? I'm going to take on all this lineage stuff, and I'm going to present that in my life as an opportunity to not only grow, but as an opportunity to transform and to remember the power of the soul, because all of this is soul contracted. And that's the thing that we really need to remember as a raven flies over. I have a whole group of ravens that come to my house every day in the backyard, and we're really close friends. I just sit outside, they hang out. I share some food with them. We have a great time. Ravens can see through the veil, and that is what we're going through, is the slow dissolving of the veil. And that is why I said I cannot, you're offering me millions of dollars, but I can't afford to take it because I have to do what I believe in. I can't make these horror movies, these massacre movies. Yeah, they get places, they get into a lot of places, but they're not going to get us where we need to go as humanity. And I came here, as you have too, I'm sure, as part of the Earth team and ground crew. So we're here to do major work. And it's often unpopular. I've always gone against the grain. And as you may have, I've always felt quite punished for it. It's bittersweet, but at the same time, I'd never make another choice. I'm grateful that I got to indulge in that realm, because it really helped me understand what's going on. It helped me see behind the veil of that. It was actually a contract that I had. So I used to I used to go to the Playboy mansions. I was almost like, I think I was a psychic spy for all of this stuff for our higher selves, because we are also here not just to ingest information for ourselves, but for the higher realms as well. So it's been a very exciting life. And I'm so excited about where we're going. When I lived in Hollywood Hills, I opened up my goddess sanctuary. I opened up my healing house with my mother, Maya the shaman. And because I had all these contacts, I was actually working with so many celebrities. I was being invited to go into the Hollywood lots and to work with, actors in crisis, etc. I love it. I don't have any prejudice against anybody. And I actually, because I was on the other side of it, I understood so much about what really goes on behind the scenes and how traumatic it truly is. And you won't be hearing that on Extra, but I'm here to say that it's not easy. Many people are born into darkness, right? They're born into these situations that are harrowing. We can never even probably comprehend or understand. And then there are people that are born into circumstantial situations where it seems like a circumstance, but everything is a soul contract. I have had such a life of dichotomy. So my mother lived on after my parents got divorced, she lived on the highest homicide rate in the United States, East Palo Alto, when I was a little girl. And my father lived in Palo Alto. There was one bridge that would take us over. So I would see the darkest of the dark, and I would see the lightest of the light, as far as like what was beautiful, what was, amazing. And I'm grateful because it really opened my heart and opened my mind to things I could never imagine, and understanding that life is not black and white, that there's always these a little other shades in between. And part of being a divine feminine is embracing all the colors of who we are. That means not being black and white, as in good girl, bad girl. That is such a stigma. And as a girl who used to read fairy tales, right? My father used to read me fairy tales, and realizing how toxic they were, because as a little girl, you hear these fairy tales and the princess is always like about to die, she's in trauma, she needs to be saved, etc., etc. And so I believed that for so many years, and that was my life. And the goddess has really brought me through so many initiations, just like you, because the goddess has showed me the darkest of the dark and the lightest of the light. And being a triple Pisces, I can take all of that in. I can take in the darkest of the dark, I can take in the lightest of the light, and then I can learn from both. And I'm grateful for the goddess. And so my history with the goddess started before I was born. My name is Radha, after the goddess Radha Krishna, who is a goddess of love and devotion. And my mother used to take me to temples when I was a little girl, and I had that embedded in me. But growing up, I really wanted to fit in. I was living on the wrong side of the tracks, and I was living on the right side of the tracks, and it was very confusing. And I just wanted to fit in. And used to get teased for my name all the time, Radha, right? There was a paint store called Radha Paints, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted anything but my name. I wanted anything but the goddess. I was horrified. And I spent, a lot of time, a lot of years running from what is really part of my soul blueprint. Why do I share this with you? I think it's important to have full disclosure and to share, because there may have been something in your life that you felt like, "Ugh, I don't want that. It's harrowing, it's too much." And you ran from it and ran from it. And then at some point you realize, wow, I see the gift, right? So at some point I did see the gift. It took so long, so much pushback. And then I really, really saw the gift of the goddess. And it wasn't just a moment of fluffiness. It was actually through my work. When I was still working as a producer, I had my healing house, and my mom and I both would see clients there. And so um I was highly trained as a healer, because for me, I've always been like, I want more training, I want more training, I want more training. I always felt there's more to learn. I'm still a learner. I'm about to take a Ayurvedic course to be a practitioner for that, because I believe that there's so much to learn. We shouldn't ever stop or settle. We should continue to learn, not because I'm trying to prove anything, because I want to learn this information for myself. But in my practice, I would see people, lawyers, producers, and these are they're very straightforward people. Boom, boom, boom. They're very like result oriented. So when I first started to experience the goddess coming into my healing sessions, I was a bit demystified. I didn't know what to do for a nanosecond, because I was like, okay, I'm feeling Kuan Yin here, and her presence wants to come in like an elixir. I could not even, I had to sort of take a moment, and I would ask my client, who's this high-powered lawyer who has the problem of not sleeping at night, is it okay if I share with you a presence with me that has come into the room since you've been here? And she would say, the reaction was like, uh, who? Well, for her, I'd say Kuan Yin. And then she would look at me like, what? She took a moment. I remember seeing her in the chair, because we had these cool, velvet chairs, and she'd sit back and go, and I'd say Kuan Yin. And she'd say, that's unbelievable, because I've been seeing pictures of Kuan Yin. I have been reading texts about Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin seems to be like, I've been seeing statues. Everywhere I go, I am reminded of Goddess Kuan Yin. And so she was in a state of shock. And I was in a state of shock, because I was like, whoa, okay. And so I really became this transmitter of these frequencies. In Star Trek, when they used to uh beam down people and they come in, that's kind of like what the goddess activations was like for me when I was in healing sessions in a room with somebody. All of a sudden I'm totally tuned into them, and down this shooter comes this goddess, and she has information. And so it's been really exciting to explore that. But it led to goddess activations, which is something that I started to really embrace about a decade ago. And I started to work with my clients and trademarked it, because I really understood that it was important to bring this information through and not kind of scatter it, because a lot of information gets really convoluted, you know. Yes, that frequency is here. The goddess activations is frequency is here. So anyhow, this led to the book Pillars of Light, Stories of Goddess Activations, and it is the most beautiful cover. And I'm so happy that some of these amazing women were able to share their stories in this book, because if you read this book, I highly recommend you do, you will realize that we women go through so much in just one lifetime. And often sometimes it's very harrowing things, okay? I have always been able to hold space for people that have gone through a lot, and there's nothing that quite phases me anymore, because living in Hollywood, right? You understand that nothing is as it seems, that there's so much more um, behind the veil. And often, I'm like trying to think of how to say this, but all of the things that we look at, the industry, right? The industries, pharmaceuticals, entertainment, everything that is mainstream, um, has it has something behind it. And I think you know what I mean. It has something behind it. That is more than what you think. So they're accessing other sides of the veil, but maybe not the divine, right? They're accessing the darker aspects to literally call in those things to use for power. And I want to say that power is never going to come from nefarious sources, right? It would be great. It would be wonderful to be able to just, receive that power. And that kind of power has been something offered to me multiple times. And so why am I even sharing this? Why? What does it have to do with you? It has a lot to do with you, because as a divine feminine woman who has a very specific path and purpose, you may have been targeted in ways that I have as well. Maybe not in the same ways, maybe not the same things have occurred in your life, but I can tell you, there have been people in your life that have not wanted the best for you. Even if they thought they did, there have been situations in your life that have not been the best for you, that have drained your life force, drained your energy. There have been energy vampires in your life, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about that, not a whole lot, but I have lived my life from a very early age with energy vampires. One of my caregivers, not biological, is a huge energy vampire and was able to do things to me and put me in situations that would always take all my power, tell me things like nobody loves you, you're worthless, etc., etc. Again, this isn't a sob story. This is just sharing that literally she was put into my life to create this trauma. Okay, so number one, many light workers have trauma in their lives, and you may agree with me, you may understand what I'm talking about, that there seems to be this special frequency from light workers that sort of um activates things in others that counter intuit your power. So you may have gone through much of your life going, hey, where's my power? Where do I come from? So you spend so much of your life trying to reclaim that power, reclaim your true essence. And I'm here to tell you that you have it right now. Whatever you've been through, you have your soul blueprint available to you. And so your soul blueprint is something that nobody can take away. You know, there can be many disturbances, there can be many interferences. For me, another issue was like I was bombarded with, since I had that feeling of not being worthy as a little girl and being told nobody loves you, et cetera, all that abuse. Um, I really wanted to fit in. I really wanted to feel loved, right? So when I was a teenager, I moved out of my home, and later I got breast implants when I was just a teenager. Um, and I it was almost like a download, okay? This is why I'm telling you this, not because I'm just telling you a random story. It was literally like a program, right? It was a program. But when I think back to that before, I was a girl who grew up with Barbies, and it wasn't my mother or father that bought them. It was all of their friends and stuff that would give me these Barbies. Before you know it, I had 50 Barbies. And I had a Barbie house, I had a Barbie car, I had one Ken. Why do I tell you this? The Barbie movie is just about to come out. And here's the whole thing. At that time, okay, Barbie was blonde and had blue eyes and was a totally different shade than I was. And of course, you know, like nothing wrong with that. But as a little girl, you're looking to identify with something. For me, I asked my grandmother, who was beautiful, who had blonde hair and blue eyes, but we were so close, and she was my saving grace. Will you be, um, would you take me to the toy store so I could get a brown Barbie? A brown Barbie with brown eyes and brown hair. And so she did. She took me to the store, and we went through all the aisles, all the Barbies. There was not one doll. Not one doll. All my dolls had blue eyes. They didn't look anything like me. So I'm telling you this because what was that messaging for you? What was that messaging for you? I'm not good enough, right? Those messages, that programming, it starts very, very early. Now they have all kinds of dolls and stuff like that, but that wasn't even a thought before. So I grew up my whole life without ever having a doll that represented me. That messaging my whole life was, you don't belong. You really shouldn't be here. This is for blonde haired, blue eyed people. And so what happened is when I was a teenager and I had my freedom, um, I went ahead and I got a breast augmentation because this is the time where Pamela Anderson was it, right? She was the bee's knees for everybody. I was living with my boyfriend and he was obsessed with watching Baywatch. So I went ahead and did that. Little did I know it would cause health issues for the rest of my life. Not forever because we're working through that, but for a very long time. And so I wanted to bring back the programming. Where have you been programmed as a little girl? Where have you been programmed in your life that you weren't good enough? Because we're here to do reparation. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about, reparation. Because the damage that has been done, not just to say me, not just to say you, but to the little ones, you know, millions of women have been harmed by these damaging messages. So where do we say enough, right? Where do we say enough? It's time that we stand in our divine sovereignty, and it's time that we remember who we are. I'm kind of over over it, right? I'm over it. I'm over this whole societal programming. I am not interested in continuing to be under this mind control because it's collective. People are like, I'm sovereign, I'm free. but they're still under mind control. So are you ready to be released from that? Because it's time. Part of the healing that I went through was I left. Like, I left LA, I left my gorgeous condo, I left all my furniture, I left all my clothes, I gave it away. I didn't just leave it, I gave it away. I gave everything I've ever owned away. Okay. And I went to the Appalachian Mountains where I was able to resurrect something that is priceless, something that is worth more than gold. And that is, I was able to resurrect my soul and my soul's blueprint, because you also have a soul blueprint, and maybe you're living 10% of it, maybe you're living 5% of it, maybe you're living 20% of it. But our soul blueprint is always inviting us to step in and to really say yes, because this is the whole point. My frequency came back online when I walked away from it all. Yeah. It wasn't an easy choice, but the goddess came to me, the dark goddess, right? She came to me, the Black Madonna came to me and said, "You have to leave now." I literally fell on my floor and started to cry. I was sobbing inconsolably because I had built my life for this. I was headed into a trajectory that would be irreversible had I went down that road. But part of me had to die, and I had to mourn that. And so that's really why I love archetypes too, because you realize we all have archetypes within us. Part of that archetype was the doer, part of the archetype was the star, part of the archetype was this and that. And I had to gently and lovingly tell them that we're closing the door to that. That's it. It's not an easy thing to do. And I'm just saying this because you might be going through a period in your life where it looks like glitters and stars down this trajectory, but your higher self, your divine, inner divine feminine says no. The goddess says no, because you have a higher purpose. And you say, "No, I don't want to give that up, because this is what I've been working my butt off for." I mean, I used to work in the office like 24/7. I'd be there first thing in the morning, I'd be there last thing at night, and I would go out and in between and go location scouting, whatever needed to be to make these projects come together, I would do it. Right? My adrenalines were actually completely shot. And I really believe if I had stayed on that trajectory, I would actually no longer be in existence, because my physical body couldn't handle it. I did an explant. I got rid of my implants, and the goddess again came to me and said, "You have 1 month to live." And I was like, "What?" But I felt it. I felt it in my soul. I felt it in my bones. I really felt it. And I I heed the call when I hear it from the goddess. I don't mess around. When I hear the call of the goddess, I go. I was so sick I could barely type, but I did my research and I found the best doctor. Believe me, it got taken care of within 2 weeks of that message that I got. And that's how fast the goddess can work for you. You know, you can get a message, and then if you follow through with it, things can change so fast for you. You wouldn't believe it. And why am I sharing this? Because you are a frequency keeper, are you not? You're here because you're curious, or you are well versed in frequencies. And we're all frequency keepers. And the things that keep us from our frequencies are the lies, the delusions, illusions. There's so many illusions, right? Of the world of what success is. To me, success before was being a #1 producer. And so that was success. And when you sort of collapse those things that are not really for your highest and best good, new things emerge, more opportunities for your frequency emerges. We're always collapsing timelines. We are frequency shifters, okay? It can get very exciting and it can be very challenging too. We have to learn to understand our trajectory and why we're here. Why did we come to planet Earth at this very auspicious time at the end of Kali Yuga, when everything is hitting the fan and everything that we've known is starting to tumble? The domino effect has begun, and now we're here being invited to really take a deep look and say, hey, is that really part of my frequency? I have had to let go of so many friends, even family, that were really detrimental to my frequency. Okay, that is something you will experience too. It's not just me. This is something that we all have to go through. I've been challenged to the point of people, family members harassing me because I don't want to continue a relationship with them because their toxicity is really harming, right? But part of being a frequency keeper is protecting that frequency. And so I want to talk a little bit about divine protection and the ability to say no, because you don't have to take everything that comes your way. You don't have to take every relationship, things that have just been implanted into your life. You have the power to say no to. This is really being a tantrika. It's not just about the goddess, right? It's actually about the path of the tantra. And that means in the tantric path, you will face light and you will face dark. Why do I say that? So many people are like, that doesn't exist. It's just love and it's just light. You know what? There's a mantra, Bhavanam Kevalam. I say this every day. Bhavanam Kevalam means love is all there is. Love is all there is. This is true. I am so aligned to that truth, and I'm a believer. But I have also witnessed and understood that things are not always just love and light, that darkness exists, pervades, that children are being abused. Do you want to deny that? Because when you deny that, you're pushing it under the rug. And as a light worker, light workers sometimes don't want to look at the dark, right? It's too scary. It's too scary. But when you're on the path of the divine, you have to have a level of courage in your heart, a courage that is unshakable, a courage that you can face the darkest of the dark and still carry the light and still carry the love. I have done that. And you can do it too. And it's not something I want to do is confront darkness, but darkness does love the light, as in vampires, right? Vampiric energies. I've had so many firsthand experiences of dealing with darkness, with vampires. And I will tell you, they do not like it when you're still in your power despite their confrontation. So many times people will try to get you off your path, poo-poo you, tell you this, tell you that, all opinions, but they don't know your soul like you do. They don't know your heart like you do. People thought I was crazy for leaving these opportunities that would have made me a multi millionaire-ess, right? I thought I was crazy too for saying no to them, but I did, because following the path of your soul is so much more important than any other path. This life comes and goes, right? It's not forever. We're here to do our work. I mean, part of my work was putting together all of these books and more that are coming. I mean, this is incredible, right? I'm here to create a collection of sacred books for New Earth, right? It's part of my work. My other part of my work is that I empower the divine feminine to stand in her frequency. And I use many different tools, many different things. But my favorite is goddess activations, because that really came from activating part of my own soul blueprint. And it's a divine gift. And you know, these gifts, it's not like they're not any get rich quick scheme, okay? I put so much love and energy into all of this. And I mean, I was offered the sun, moon, and the stars and a certain amount, and I said no, because you know what? I have to follow the path of my dharma, of my soul blueprint, of my frequency, and so do you. If you're listening, it's because you are here to follow that path. And that is why I'm here to talk to you today about being a frequency shifter. We are the ones we've been waiting for. You know, we've been taught since fairy tales, ladies, that we have to sort of wait for the Prince Charming to fix the world, to save us, to give us a kiss, etc., 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 right? Talk about mind control. It's time to disintegrate that now. So I'm really, really excited and happy to share with you today that you are indeed a frequency shifter, that part of your soul is even listening to this point because you know there's a gem for you. And so that gem is what we're going to be talking about today. And that is the fact that you are a divine feminine frequency shifter. You may be like, oh, not me. Not me. And some of you are like, yes, I've been doing it for a long time. Well, ladies, it's time to understand something. You know, when you understand a little bit about history and about the history of the goddess, if you look into it and really look into it, because a lot of this stuff has been deleted and hidden, and so many books have been destroyed, as you know. But there are sacred texts out there. And some of it we're here to channel back in, right? And so for me, when I found out that so many of the temples that used to exist were destroyed, and not just destroyed, but the women were stripped, and many things happened to them that I won't explain here. I think you can understand what they are. The men basically took the identity of that feminine, extracted the womb essence of these temples. And all of these women had very poor endings to their life, whether it be one thing or another. It wasn't good. And why it hits home for me is because I actually have soul memories of being being in these temples, being these women who have been stripped bare, and beyond stripped, violated and taken from. And so part of this frequency I have is like, no, not in this lifetime. This has happened many times before, and I'm so aware of it. And it's happened perpetually in the producing industry, like That's the energy, is they want to strip so many of the feminine of their creative energy, their power, and just so I'm very much a stand for feminine saying no, for feminine remembering who you are and why we have this bigger purpose. And so, PS, we have stories of the goddess coming out. And this is not just like a pitch, because we put our blood, soul, and tears into this. And it's not just as again, it's not a get rich scheme. We're giving these books out for 99 cents and we get like 10 cents. It would take 20 years to recover the cost we invested into them, or so, to even get back what we invested. So again, I'm not about these schemes. I'm really about long-term longevity, planting seeds that will flourish through all time. Just like this rose, because these books are forever. We do come and we do go from Earth, but these books are forever. We have had authors that have since passed away. Okay. And it was so bittersweet to have their work in the books and knowing that their legacy lives forever. It's sweet, it's bittersweet, and life is like that. There's so much sweetness and there's bitterness. And I think alchemy, being the ultimate alchemizer, realizing as the feminine, having these wombs, we can alchemize so much. I don't know about you, but my whole life I've been alchemizing energies around me in my family dynamics, and a lot of it's been through my womb chakra. So later in life I had to really go in and do some womb work and be like, hey, it's time to clear like all this energy out, because we are womb keepers, we are womb holders. And a lot of the work I do also is about really honoring the womb and realizing how much we store in there. So you are a divine feminine frequency keeper. So what does that mean for you? Let's talk about you. You're important. You matter. You've always mattered and you always will. You came here for a reason. You may not remember it, but most likely you're starting to remember it now. And in that divine remembrance also comes this extraordinary pain, this feeling of, oh my gosh, like I've already served in these temples, I've already done all these things, and I've been defeated. And I'm here to tell you, no, you haven't been defeated. That is a feeling that we are here to clear today. So I want you to go ahead and just close your eyes and take a deep breath. And we're going to go on a little journey together, if that's okay. So just, you can lay down, you can just relax, you can close your eyes. And I'm going to ask now that if you agree, so you can say yes and continue on. If you don't feel comfortable, you can log off and come back another time. But for those frequency keepers that are here to reclaim your divine frequency, here we go. All right, let's go. So now we are here. I want you to feel the light that is on top of your crown chakra. Feel your crown and feel how glorious it is. There's also so much information in the crown chakra that at times does and does not get delivered into our whole body. So I would like you to just bring your attention to this crown. You can feel it if you want to explore. Imagine it now, and we're going to go on an adventure. Imagine it going up, 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 through to the top of the ceiling. You can see it moving all the way through the roof. As it pops out of your roof, I want you to see this beautiful aspect, your crown energy, continue to move up through the atmosphere with part of your consciousness, knowing you're safe and protected, continuing to float up, 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 up through the skies, through the clouds. And you'll see almost like a glass, as if a glass ball. That is the atmosphere. See yourself popping through the atmosphere now. And as you pop through, oh my gosh, freedom. Hello. This is glorious, beautiful darkness. And this, my friends, is womb energy. Feel the womb energy as it starts to permeate through you. Feel the womb energy as you continue to pulse up, 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 until you see a golden light. It has rainbow essence colors around it, and we're going to pop right in. And this energy is exquisite. It is glorious. It's happy, and it's inviting you to just shed layers that no longer serve you. And it's actually joyful, despite how dramatic it can feel. Let it go. And now it's asking us to pop on through. You can see yourself pop out of it, back into the darkness. And here we are again in this eternal darkness, which I love so much. This is part of the Divine Mother womb. And up ahead, we see glimmering lights, almost like a magnet calling us. So go ahead and be called into this sacredness, called right into the sacred space. I can feel you as you pop in. Just be here and feel the vastness of this beautiful space. Take a deep breath. Another one. And one more. All the way down to your womb. And a sigh. Ah, beautiful. I can feel you being anchored into the sacred space. Doesn't matter if you're watching before or after. This is timeless. Beyond time, space, and history. And in this sacred space, we're going to reclaim our divine soul blueprint, because let me tell you, it's been here for you. You are so worthy and deserving of receiving this. So I want you to, this is the crown chakra aspect of you, to open up now and receive. Open your crown and receive. Receive the truth of who you are, all the lessons you needed to learn, your divine blessings, your divine healings, your sacred gifts, even those that you don't know you have. Downloading into you the full spectrum of your own soul blueprint. You don't even have to know what that means. Just receive it, because it is yours, okay? It's yours. Downloading so many lessons you needed to learn, marking them as complete. Yes to that. We like them marked as complete so we don't have to repeat them over and over again. And continuously downloading them now into that beautiful crown, glorious. And again, never compare yourself to another woman. Your crown will always look different than hers. You are divine and you are holy, and you carry codes that you've carried through so many lifetimes, so many experiences. You don't have to copy, you don't have to be like anybody else. You can be so unique to who you are. And I'm excited for you, because when we download that back into our bodies, it'll take maybe a week to integrate. And so many things are going to come back online. And as I'm speaking, I'm also completely aware that more is downloading into your sacred crown. Okay, all the jewels of all the lifetimes are coming in, filling them up. And when you feel the fullness of your crown, I want you to feel that hand on your back, letting you know you feel you are, not just feel, you are supported, you are loved, and it's just getting started for you. So thank you to all of our ascended masters and guides. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. We receive. Okay. Now we have the crown. It's full. We're going to take it back down. So thank you to all involved. Thank you to our higher self, because our higher self is always involved. Thank you. And now we bring this beautiful and glorious crown down. We're going to pop it through that beautiful golden layer, bring it back into the darkness, and let it just feel the glory. Feel the glory of your jewels, of your soul blueprint. Feel it now. It is divine and it is holy unto you. What you're carrying home has been hard earned. These are aspects that are ready now to be placed back into your being. And we're just going to continue to float down through the dark womb energy in deep gratitude for everything we've experienced in this lifetime, in all lifetimes. Dark or light, it has served its purpose in teaching us what we needed to learn. We thank that and honor every situation. And as we see the atmosphere below us, we're just going to pop through the atmosphere, seeing the beautiful clouds beneath us, floating so gently, so gracefully back down, seeing the top of your house or your apartment, wherever you reside, your roof, and popping in. If you live in multiple apartments, popping through wherever you need to get back into your room. Now, this beautiful crown is on the top of your room, and gently, I want you to put your hands up to receive all of these jewels and gently place it back onto your crown. There you go. Take a deep breath. It's been a journey, not just this lifetime, but so many others. So many others. You have earned all of these jewels. And now I want you to really say yes. Integrate these jewels and allow all of this to come back into your system, your DNA, your RNA, your hardwire as a human, your cells. All this information, all these gems are coming in now. You are divine and you are holy. Oh, it feels good. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you because I feel things are really going to shift and change as you start to integrate these energies. And giving yourself space. So I would like you to have a sacred journal if possible. Some of you may be journaling. And write my sacred gifts in that journal. And I want you to start tracking the things that you're starting to awaken to, because there are things right now that will be percolating for the next week, maybe even the next month. But I promise that there is so much more that is coming down into you. And this is part of your frequency, part of being a frequency keeper. You are here to make big shifts in the world. And sometimes you don't actually have to do anything. Sometimes you just need to bring that energy into you. And by doing so, you're already shifting the frequency of the land, the vibrational frequencies around you, and the whole atmospheric frequencies. These sacred remembrances must be anchored into earth. Okay? They must be anchored into earth in order for you, in order not just for you, but the divine collective to start remembering. There is remembering, there is an awakening, and there is a frequency shift happening. You, my love, are part of that. That is why you're here today. You're listening to a lot of stuff. Some of it's relevant, some of it's irrelevant. But most importantly, you are relevant. So is your frequency. So is your gift. So is your purpose. It may not be like anybody else's that you know, and that's okay. I'm here to tell you it's okay. I went against the grain of where I was going and against everything, and I went uphill to live on the top of the Appalachian Mountains, giving away everything that I had accumulated in my life, valuable things. But who cares? We're here to shift the frequency. We're here to be part of this collective awakening. It is so grand. And we are part of the eternal that never dies, that even if our bodies shift and transform, our souls are forever. And that is what really matters. That's what's important. You have a frequency within you that is so divine. I could not copy you, and you could not copy me. Each one is unique to every lifetime you've ever had. And we may like celebrate and come together because we may remember certain exquisite experiences we've had together. And I invite you to remember. I invite you to remember the joy you've had with your other feminine throughout these genetic and DNA trainings that we've experienced that have been catastrophic, from the witch hunts that literally altered our DNA to be afraid of each other, of our sisterhood, right? Because they were killing us for our gifts. So people would turn in, she's got a gift, take her, not me. It's been that me or her, me or her, me or her, me or her. No more. We will not stand for that. That was the patriarchy really taking advantage of the divine. We can't stand for that anymore. We have to remember that each one of us has a gift, a skill, a divine essence that is, you can't duplicate it. We can't compete. We can never compete. We can never compare. Your journey is so unique to you. It's so beautiful. My journey is so unique to me. It's beautiful. And our sister's journey is so unique to her. And we can meet together in the middle, honor each other, really honor each other, because we've all been through so much, and know that we're going to get through this, all of it. And that in fact, we change the world, the essence of the world, the frequency of the world when we travel. When we think we're going on vacation, sometimes we're doing grit work, right? I've traveled across the United States at least half a dozen times. It took me, a few trips to realize I was actually doing grid work. But we're here to serve, and we cannot compete. We're here to unite. That's why we're here. So I hope you remember who you are and why you're here. And if you don't, you can always journal. I suggest you grab one of our books and just realize that there may be stories that help heal and activate in your life. Knowing you're never alone or lonely, the light that guides the stars guides you too. We are in it together. So, with that, I will say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your beautiful frequency. Thank you for being part of this incredible Voices of Gaia Summit. And thank you to Patricia for putting this together, because if it weren't for her, we wouldn't be all together. And she is a gift. She's a blessing. And I'm so excited that she is in our new book, Stories of the Goddess. We will be having a goddess tea party tomorrow. Uh, it's for, April 23rd. 11:11. You're so invited to come join us. And Patricia, I believe she'll be there. So she's a gift. She's a blessing, and I'm so grateful. She remembers. She remembers her frequency, and she's here to be of service for all. So thank you so much. Much love and blessings for now. If you would like to know what kind of projects we have going on at Retta Publishing House, feel free to reach out to Retta Publishing House. .com, or email us, or email me. I look forward to hearing from you. And we also have the Goddess Code Collective, where we do monthly calls and we empower each other because it's fun. We all need a reminder of our divine frequencies. We invite you to be part of that if you'd like to. You're always welcome to join as long as your heart is willing to connect and participate. We welcome you with open arms. And much love and blessings to you all, sisters. I'm so honored to hold this space with you. Bye for now.